from different institutions who will present their insight on diverse range of contemporary political, social, and economic issues shaping India today. A brief highlight: we have Dr. Kiran M. Gajanur sir from Department of Public Administration, Central University of Karnataka, who will speak on trajectories of social movements in India. We have Professor Devarajappa S, professor at the School of Business Studies, Central University of Karnataka. He will be speaking on the Fintech revolution driving India's economic engine. We have Professor B.M. Muralidhar, Director of the Directorate of Students' Welfare and Cultural Affairs at SV University, Tirupati. He will discuss on reimagining Indian federalism under NDA 2.0, the South Indian perspective. And we have Dr. Chidambaram, sir, the head of the department at the Center for Study of Social Exclusion and Inclusion Policy, Pondicherry University, who will speak on political representation of persons with disabilities in South Asia. And we have Dr. Rama Jayanti, assistant professor at the Center for Study of Social Inclusion, Bharati Darshan University, Tirupati. He will speak on regional interest in national politics, reflections from Tamil Nadu. This session promises to offer valuable academic perspective on social movement, economic transformation, federalism, inclusion, and regional politics in India. We look forward to an engaging and enriching session. Now, I would like to hand over the session to the session chair, Professor Sartik Sir. So you may kindly continue. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thanks, Lokpa, for introducing the chair and the speaker of the session. There are four speakers in this session, right? Total four speakers in the session. So we'll move in the order of the name just appeared in the brochure. We'll just follow the order of the name just appeared in the brochure. And I think each speaker will speak some 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. And after all the speakers, we can open up, go for a discussion, question answer session. So this is some, things we have to follow. So I would invite our first speaker of the session, Dr. Kiran M. Gajanur, Department of.
Actually, we have made some changes. So I have sent the updated list to you. So Professor B.M. Muralidharan sir has some other engagement in his university.
Okay, fine.
I have sent just updated list to you.
Okay, then I invite Professor B.V. Muralidharan to present his topic.
So thank you, sir, and good afternoon to all my colleagues, especially to Dr. Lokpa and the moderator, and more so to Vikesh Kumar, who was kind enough to contact me a few months back and said that there will be a webinar series and I should be a part of it. So greetings from the Department of Political Science and Public Administration, Sri Venkateshwara University, Tirupati, South India, Andhra Pradesh, and where the richest god in the world lives. Till few years, it was Vatican, but of now, TTD, we call it as Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanams, where the Lord Balaji, the deity of the Hindus, resides on 7 hills. And you'll be surprised to say, friends, the total population of Tirupati, where we have nearly 8 universities, is around 3.5 lakhs. And the floating population will be around 50,000 to 1 lakh per day. 50,000 to 1 lakh. So I was a product of this particular university, 83-85, and with a limited teaching and research experience of 38 years. And as a director, 18 years, and very proud and happy to say that as a tennis player, 52 years, still playing. I am a university player, played for my university 3 times. I was a captain of SV University, and still I play tennis. Still I play, almost so. So in that way, I hold 3 CVs: academic, director, and tennis. And here, I want to thank my parents, my teachers right from school level, my friends, and my students who made me the person I am. And here, friends, let me tell you, this is mainly meant for the students, if at all, they are here, because not for the learned colleagues. They must be knowing about the federalism and its working under NDA 2.0 from their perspective and the South Indian perspective. So for the students who are present, just I made it a few, because Vikas told me it will be only for 10 to 15 minutes. So I'll not take much of your time. And so let's start. And let me thank once again all my colleagues, the participants, and the earlier was right from yesterday, who could make their presence in this particular webinar on reimagining Indian federalism under NDA 2.0, a South Indian perspective. This is the theme and the talk which I'll be presenting on. So friends, when we talk about federalism, let's go back for a few minutes. The problem is this: with the webinar, this is the problem. So let's start with what the Constituent Assembly says. So when Dr. Ambedkar and his team were drafting the Constituent Assembly, they felt that there should be dual polity, center-state divisions of powers according to the 7th schedule, and we call it as a quasi-federal, where we have 3 lists: the union, the state, and the concurrent list. It must be a written constitution. Judiciary must be independent. Bicameral legislature to accommodate India's diversity. That's a very, very important thing, which unfortunately, sorry, because I am unable to share this. I don't know what happened.
No problem.
Okay.
Please continue, sir. So just click to second, third, then it will move, sir.
I'm just clicking, sir. Just make only 4 C. Can I send to Vikash? Sorry if I'm troubling you.
Yes, please send me. I will share. No problem.
Yes, ma'am. Please. Yes, I'm doing that. Yes, sir. This one. Vikash, sorry for troubling you.
No problem.
I've sent. So, a bicameral legislature to accommodate the regional feelings, Article 248 and Article 250. Article 248 talks about the residuary powers. Article 250 talks about the state subjects during emergencies, where the center can legislate. So this is what the Constituent Assembly has made it clear to everyone after 1950. The first Prime Minister being Nehru. Let's start from that particular, because I'll be making it very brief and come to the last 5 minutes about the NDA. So from Nehru to Indira Gandhi's period, it was from cooperative federalism to confrontational centralization. Because Nehru being the first Prime Minister, he felt that there should be a strong center, not as per the constitution, because they said a quasi-federal where the center will be a bit strong at the cost of the states. So Nehru also followed the same thing, and center was made strong. A planning commission was set up, but to accommodate the regional feelings, he said, let's go for linguistic reorganization in 1956 so that the aspirations of the regional parties can be accommodated. So from 1947 till 1960s, everything was going on smoothly because both at the state and the center, it was the Congress party which was in power. Nobody talked about federalism openly because the aura, the hold which Nehru had was tremendous. And there are in a few pockets of the states, we have the non-Congress governments. So thereby it did not matter much for Nehru. The sailing was smooth. But the first nail on Indian federalism was struck with the dismissal of the Kerala government by using Article 356. So the abuse of Article 356 started with the dismissal of the duly elected Kerala government by Jawaharlal Nehru. Then the 1964 he passed away. Then Shastri became the prime minister. It was a very short term. The Congress lost elections in Bihar, Kerala, Haryana, and West Bengal. Even then, the concept of federal system, which Nehru started, was being continued during the short stint of Shastri also. Suddenly, with the demise of Shastri, after the 1965 war, Indira Gandhi came to power. When Indira Gandhi came to power, for the first few years, it was a cooperative, as like her father. She followed the footsteps of our father, Jawaharlal Nehru. But once she assumed and she was sure that her party and individually she got absolute control over the party, and the confrontation and authoritarian of the center began to be shown, with the center becoming more powerful at the cost of the states. And the states were being treated as a glorified municipalities, according to one critic, when Indira Gandhi was at the helm of the affairs during her first term. And over centralization, the states were treated unfairly. And the imposition of emergency in 1975 was the second nail on the federal system. Then Janata Party came to power. They were fighting among themselves who should be the prime minister. Even though Morarji Desai was the prime minister, there were a lot of competitors like Devilal, Charan Singh, Chandrasekhar, who waited till 1990s later after he became prime minister also. So in India, everything is possible. Only thing is, you must have the patience. So Janata Party came to power. They were not worried about the center state because they are fighting for the kursi, what you call it in Hindi. And what the government did was misuse of Article 356. The governor rule was imposed on all the states which were controlled by the Congress party. So within 1.5 years or two, Janata Party was out of power. Indira Gandhi once again returned to power with majority. So she retaliated, or she played the same game which the Janata Party played, and dismissed all the Janata Party ruled states. And with that, the shaky federal system began to collapse, and which reached its peak now. Because these are all my own observations and analysis. It is nothing to do with any party or thing. Because I am a teacher and I teach political science and public administration, specializing in international relations and foreign policy. So my views may not be compatible with others, and I have to respect that also. Because in social sciences, when I was a student, my teachers used to say, some of my teachers, 2 into 2 doesn't make 4. It will be made 5 also. Do 5 bhi hote. It did not be 4. But my teacher, what he said was, he was from Madras Christian College, Tamang, one of the best colleges in South India. So he used to say, Murli, you give reasoning. Why you think like that? Let the students think whether what you said is correct or not. So that's how my education started and ended. It was Janata Party. So wherever the opposition party ruled, governments were there, led by Janata Party. And the very funny thing, friends, because some who are coming from North India or in other parts of except South, what she did was, she never liked even the chief ministers from her own party. If she thinks they are the potential threats to her party or to her prime ministership. So this was the problem of federalism, the strong center or the rule of Indira Gandhi during her second term after 1979-80. So at that time, a major shift has happened in Indian politics. Remember, that was the major first time all the opposition parties could come together under the leadership of N.T. Ramarao, the film star turned politician. Earlier, MGR was there, and he took up some cause for the South Indian states, which includes Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Kerala. Telangana was not there, and Karnataka. Ramakrishna Hegde was there, and he got the help from Jammu and Kashmir, Farooq Abdullah, and earlier his father. The only problem is Indira Gandhi underestimated N.T. Ramarao's power. So he has a very charismatic appeal, which made the other 4 or 5 opposition party ruled leaders to come under his umbrella. And he won the elections. Then the major confrontation between N.T. Ramarao and the southern states versus Indira Gandhi started. And just for a quick reminder, you know what happened? He went on a tour to United States. By the time he returned, the Congress party, with the support of Indira Gandhi, played a very cool and dirty politics, making one of the person, Nadhenla Bhaskar father, to stage a coup. So by the time N.T. Ramarao returned from US, he was out of power. He had absolute majority in the assembly. But then we know all the drama unfold. He got heart attack and all. It was flashed in all over the newspapers. And Indira Gandhi, for the first time, has to bow to a person which she did not like. Never she compromised. That's why people used to call, the critics used to call, she is the only man in the whole cabinet. She ruled with iron hand, no doubt about it. But yet, for the first time in the Congress history, in the life of Mrs. Gandhi, as I know, she has to bow to the pressure of the AP people. And power was once again given back to N.T. Ramarao. Then immediately he dissolved the assembly and went for election. So from that time onwards, especially from the southern part, we did not have good relations, or center did not cultivate good relations with the southern states. Because N.T. Ramarao came to power with only one slogan in Telugu, Atma Gauravam, Telugu Valla Atma Gauravamu. In English, self-respect of Telugu people. That's clear. It's happened. It's not something which I'm telling because I'm come from Andhra Pradesh. It has really happened during the Congress rule, where they have pledged everything to the center. She used to remove chief ministers. Just we change our dress. She used to change chief ministers. Within 2 years, 3 chief ministers were changed in my state. And I was pursuing my post-graduation at the time. So friends, with this kind of attitude from the center towards the southern states, N.T. Ramarao, M.G. Ramchandra, Ramakrishna Hegde, and the Kerala chief minister, they all felt enough is enough. We want our share. We just ask, we want our share, especially in the financial aspects. We don't want to beg always the center to give everything for us, which we duly deserve. And unfortunately, she was assassinated, and Rajiv Gandhi came to power. With the limited experience, he started very cautiously mixing centralized control initiatives and efforts to accommodate regional demands, both centralization and giving accommodation to the regional demands. The result was the signing of Assam Accord, the Punjab Accord. But later we know how far these accords have helped Indian federalism or the unity among the states. Then one mistake which Rajiv Gandhi did was to have direct connection with the local governments, especially the district magistrates, which these southern states did not accept. How can you overrule us and directly talk through the 73rd and 74th Constitution which you want to bring in? Unfortunately, by the time they passed, he was not there. How is it possible to override the state governments and directly approach the Panchayati Raj institutions? This was one area where the center-state relations suffered even during Rajiv's tenure. Then came the post-Rajiv, and he too was assassinated, like his mother. The post-Rajiv phase, it was the end of one-party dominance. And with the end of the one-party dominance, the rise of the coalition politics became the order of the day. For the first time after 1990, even though the Congress party under the leadership of P.V. Narasimha Rao came to power, he did not have absolute majority. He has a very razor-thin majority using his Kautilyan tactics. Because he was there right from Nehru's time, he could survive 5 years. The Congress party more or less became a regional party, whereas the regional parties began to dominate the center. And Narasimha Rao was very, very accommodating, both giving cash, berths, and everything XYZ to the parties. So Rao's tenure was from cooperative federalism to competitive federalism. And states were encouraged for the first time to act as competitors in attracting investments. That's why most of the chief ministers after 1991 with the LPG and all those things, they said, we are not the chief ministers, we are the CEOs. So the chief ministers became CEOs of the states. That's a very unfortunate trend. I don't know how people can accept those things. And they openly said, we are the CEOs, not the chief minister of the state. I don't want to name the chief minister. And that chief minister openly said that I am no more the chief minister, but I am the CEO of my state. This change has come because of the LPG and the relationship between the center and the state. The center began to withdraw, allowing the states to have more say in financial aspects. But friends, let me tell you, the misuse of Article 356 under Narasimha Rao's government also continued. So whether it is Nehru or Indira Gandhi or Janata Party or again Indira Gandhi or Rajiv Gandhi or Narasimha Rao, the same thing continuing, and people began to talk about the federalism. Every now and then it has become a buzzword in political field. And here, apart from that, the states began to demand more autonomy, more share, because they knew that this is the time. There is no Nehru, no Indira Gandhi, no Rajiv Gandhi, the stalwarts. So the states, especially the southern states, and some of the states in northeast, in Punjab and Jammu and Kashmir, they began to feel that this is the time to take and get our share. That's how the
Professor Muralidhar,
confrontation between this. So then came the Vajpayee government, which continued Narasimha Rao's the Manmohan Singh's government,
presentation.
and finally the NDA 1 and NDA 2.
Respected chair, is addressing something.
Yes, sir. Yeah, NDA 1 and NDA 2. Can you put the last share clip, Vikas? So under NDA 1 and NDA rule also, there is a coming from the southern states. I have seen how the earlier party supported the NDA. because they had their own cases against their leader. And once the cases were kept aside, they again began to come out of this. So this kind of political mileage, which both the parties, the regional parties in the state of Andhra Pradesh had with the center, was very dangerous. And I feel very bad when I'm watching this.
Professor Muralidhar, if you can conclude your presentation.
Sir, I am not able to hear you, sir.
If you can conclude your presentation in next 2 minutes.
Okay, just 2 minutes. Next, the GST for fiscal management, misuse of governor's position and the central investigating agencies. On the other hand, to please the southern states, the central government started interstate council for consultations, Niti Ayog replacing the planning commission. Despite all these things, what all during the second term of Indira Gandhi, the federal system has seen, the same thing is happening in India too also, with some changes, nothing more than that. Because, let me tell you with one particular quote, in international relations, you cannot choose your neighbors, but you can choose your friends. In Indian politics, the center can choose the political parties, but it cannot choose which party is going to stay with them forever. And this is the sorry state of affairs of the center versus the states in the southern part. And there is only one state which has stood firmly against the center. It is Tamil Nadu and then Kerala. Even my state and Karnataka, they are a bit wavering. Wavering in the sense, maybe due to their personal case issues, which they don't want to get caught. And as I said, the central investigating agencies are being used or misused by the center. That's how the threat to Indian federalism in the southern part of the state is still continuing. I hope the center and the states will see that the spirit of the constitution will be upheld, not their own self-interest. Till that takes place, these kind of topics will continue in political science. So let me wish all my colleagues the festivals, the 3 festivals which we are going to come in advance, Ugadi, Ramadan, and Easter. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Muralidhar. Very well articulated presentation. The next speaker I would like to invite Professor Devarajappa. Professor Devarajappa, School of Business Studies, Central University of Karnataka. Sorry, 15 minutes. The time limit is 15 minutes. You are requested to, complete your presentation in 15 minutes.
I think Devarajappa is not here, so please invite next.
He is not there?
Yeah, I think he's not here.
Acha, so then in the order again, Dr. A. Chidambaram. Dr. A. Chidambaram. I think he is there. Dr. A. Chidambaram.
Yeah.
Yes, it is your turn.
Yeah. Very good afternoon, sir. Very good afternoon to all, respected chair and the organizing team. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Sir, 15-minute time. Try to finish it in 15-minute time.
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Just 1 minute, I'm just putting my headphone. I was waiting for that order to come. Okay.
as a head of
Okay, I'm audible now. Very good evening to all. Thanks for these opportunities, respected sir and the organizing team. Of course, it's a late evening, but I try to come to the topic what I propose to discuss in the August gathering. My topic, what I proposed here, the political participation of person with disability, contemporary significance, structural barrier, and the roadmap for reform. That is a topic what I proposed. Why I proposed this topic? Actually, 2-3 weeks before, because asked me to come and deliver a speech in this group. Then immediately I thought of, at that time we have been deeply discussing about the election, Tamil Nadu and Kerala election. We have been talking regularly. We used to have a weekly webinar every week. We have been doing for last 4 years, every Sunday between 7 to 9 p.m. We have been doing in our Pondicherry University and all other disabled people organization and non-government organization working in the field of disability. We have been doing that. Then I thought that is a better topic to present over in line with this particular title of this webinar. So here the problem here in this disability sector, they are more invisible populace. So even though there are size of population, every 7th person in the world, or one on the other hand, they are person with disabilities. According to WHO data and all other international INGO data says that there are 1 out of 6 and 1 out of 7 persons in the country or world are disabled. Especially with a country like India, the more number of people with disabilities are there. Still, their numbers are not ascertained, not properly enumerated. The magnitude is not visible. So government data projected there are only for 2 to 3% of people in India are disabled. So among them, the very less number of people only came forward to get their unique disability identity card to declare themselves as a person with disability, because the stigma attached and several reasons are there behind that things. Why the populace is invisible, but the limited people, they will come together and they will be talking about various issues whenever there is some kind of phenomena. Take example of the election, they will come together and they will sit together and start discussing about what to be present before the political manifesto of each and every party. If in case of budget session, the state or central, they will come together and they will sit and discuss. So they keep discussing about their basic issues, not for their felt need or other need, only for the basic needs, such as what is required for their survival. So even though the constitution provides like survival or right to life and dignity, but still the 1/4 of the Indian population are not having right to life is not denied. Right to life is not given to those people. So in these circumstances, what is the role of, why is political participation required for person with disability? What is the recent development in Tamil Nadu that should be disseminated in the group, and other states also need to be followed that. So I thought of that this point to be discussed. So we have very unique legislations to try to empower persons with disabilities. The various institutional commitments have been discussed in the constitutions, as well as this legislation enacted in 1995 Act as well as 2016 Act. Despite of this 2016 Act, still the political participation was not given. Political participation doesn't mean they need to come to the power. Even to go and vote, voting rights also denied up to last 2 years before for person with intellectual disability and person with mild and moderate disability with intellectual disabilities. That has been denied. So political participations or electing the citizens to be given rights to elect their own representatives, that was not there. That is the condition for person with disability in the country. So that recently in 26 June 2025, Government of Tamil Nadu came out with that order. They amended this Local Municipality Act 2025. They amended and they brought out a nomination of person with disability in all local panchayats, including Panchayat Raj, in the rural area, as well as local administration in the municipality and municipal corporations. So now we have around 17,000 per person with disability are nominated in the local administrations. These 17,000 people, they are going to look after their welfare measures and what kind of basic needs are required in their own regions. So one communities. That kind of responsibilities are given. Even though there is a lot of criticism about their not voting rights are not given, financial rights are not given, but this itself, I feel like the one positive steps, affirmative steps taken by the government of Tamil Nadu to empowering persons with disability to raise their voice, to register their voice, or to speak about what is their requirement of the own communities in the particular area. So this is only one, the South India and Tamil Nadu have taken these steps. Other states, there is no affirmative steps to include persons with disabilities. So of course, Election Commission of India, the different state elections have given now prioritizing the important to given for the person with disability to making this polling pools are accessible for person with disabilities, and try to make the ballot seats and everything are accessible, or EVM machines are accessible for person with disabilities. That kind of efforts have been made, but for registering their voice, because there are a lot of provisions are there in the aspect RPWD Act, right, regarding this dignified life of person with disabilities, and what kind of basic needs to be addressed by the state government as part of the mandate. Those kind of things still the requirements are not addressed properly. For that, this particular initiatives definitely could have played a vital role in that. Now 17,000 plus people have been appointed in the local administrations in the Panchayat Raj as well as town panchayat and municipal corporations. Definitely they will go into take a major role in shaping the state politics in forthcoming years, as well as this became enlightening for other states to empower the person with disabilities through assigning their political representations. So this is one steps have been taken. So here, if you look into other aspects regarding the barriers is there on all level, not only for structural barrier in the physical environment, as well as the attitudinal barrier is there in always all the places, especially in if you go to any institutions, the behavior of the people, why this invisibility, why this population is not visible. The reason is from the family members itself, and person with disability and family members itself, they are not ready to disclose their identity. So that because they don't want to stick some kind of sympathy from others. So those kind of attitudes also prevailing in the people within the family and outside the family, and those kind of attitudinal barrier also need to be addressed. So another is barriers in the electronic digital inclusion also. Now they started discussing about it. Even the EVM machines, now they're talking about how to include the digital machines are more accessible or for person with disability, or in case of visually challenged, what kind of inclusion measures to be taken. So those kind of things, lobbyings are keep taking place, and some steps have been taken in the state of Tamil Nadu, because we have a regional National Institute for Visually Handicapped and National Institute for Multiple Disabilities are there. In addition to that, people, organizations, disabled organization and other organizations are coming together, frequently coming together, and they started discussing about it. This kind of initiative are taking place, but this is not much visible in other states. So in that way, contemporary forthcoming election or in future elections, definitely this invisible populace definitely going to play a very significant role to determining the state and local body elections, and as well as they are going to not only for determining their people to come, and also they are going to fulfill their basic needs. Basic needs, take example, even accessible toilets in their own places, access to PDS system, access to village administrative office, ICDS centers, schools, and many more things. They are now everywhere. There is barriers are there. Now because of this political participations, these people will take a step on this. So we as a micro level, our center, Center for Studies Social Inclusion, we have been taking micro level initiatives to capacity building for this all panchayat leaders, especially those who are nominated in this region, especially in Tamil Nadu. So we are planned to, after the election, we are planned to capacity building with the people. So of course now the ruling party that they nominated their people to become a political representatives. Definitely that changes will be there, or even the same people will be given capacity building, and because we want some good people to serve the need of people. Whatever it is, the people need to be capacity building to be given. So those and all we have planned to equip them. So this is the best model what they have adapted in Tamil Nadu that I want to present before this August gathering. So so a lot of things to discuss here, but I am considering the time, so I don't want to go deeper into that. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Chidambaram, presented on a very unique aspect.
Hello.
So I would now invite our next speaker, Dr. Ramajayam. Dr. Ramajayam to present his topic now. So over to Dr. Ramajayam.
Good evening for all of you, sir. And am I audible?
Yes, audible.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. And good evening for the chair, Professor Sartik, Bagh, sir, and a dear friend Vikas Kumar. And I'm very glad to participate in the webinar, national webinar on rethinking the South Indian politics and economy and other aspects. And so I think my predecessors spoke the outline of Tamil Nadu politics and how Professor Muralidhar and Chidambaram have touched upon the Tamil Nadu issues with the center. And now I'm going to extend the limits, or like push the boundary towards the center-state relations in the sense that so naturally Tamil Nadu has been viewed as the one of the important states in the country that always challenges the central power, whether it is Congress or NDA or whoever stays in power at the center. So Tamil Nadu has been raising its voice against its central power, not the union as a whole. So it has also always been in a constitutional issue when we talk about the federalism. The fiscal federalism becomes one of the most important part of the constitutions that deals the financial parts, the allocations and other financial related powers of the center and the state. So in this regard, for the past, not only past the 5 years, and even before the ADMK rulings in the state from 2016 to 21, and prior to that 2011 to 16. So whenever there is a coalition government takes place at the center, so the center-state relation will not be a big issue so far in our experience. Whether it is the ADMK, it had alliance with the Congress or BJP, and the DMK's alliance with the Congress or BJP. So when they are in alliance, the center-state issues is not explored much, or like the experience of the constraints are very small in numbers and degree. But when you have an opposition at the center, the regional parties face tough time when it is not in close relations with, or like it is not in contact with properly. So particularly this phase of DMK rule from 2021 to up to date. So it has been a serious challenge for Tamil Nadu to get funds from the center, and particularly now the present central dispensation, how it takes away the financial resources from the states like Tamil Nadu. It has become a big issue. So fortunately, we had a finance minister who had the great knowledge of handling finances and handling the financial resources properly and generating revenues for the state exchequer and all these things. So Dr. Palanivel Tyagarajan, PTR Palanivel Tyagarajan played a major role in the recent past to bring many issues like GST compensation for the states, which he took the issue seriously and taking this issue to the public. Previously, the center-state relations or the fiscal federalism used to be within the legislators and the political circle, but the kind of social media propagation and the kind of media's help. So he took the issue to the open and public that how the center collects the revenue from the state and how much it gives back. So that became an issue. Then the public started debating on this center-state relation. So how the center has been playing its power on the states in allocation to the state funding or the projects, and even for giving financial and administrative approval for the cabinet approval for the projects to initiate for the betterment of the state infrastructure. So in this case, so it is much expected that when the DMK came to power in 2021, so since it has been a very strong regional party which oppose the BJP in ideological as well as in other way also, because for the first time it faces the kind of ideological threat and the ideological opposition from the center and the state, where it questions its own core ideology of social justice, state autonomy, and two issues are very important for the Dravidian parties, particularly the DMK. So DMK always have spoke about the fiscal federalism, and Mr. Karunanidhi, when he was the chief minister in 89-91, so he requested the then Union National Front government to form the National Development Council. So where the chief ministers are the members of that council and where the prime minister is the chairman of the council. So in that way, he found a lot of solution for the fiscal federalism, federal issues, and the tax allocations and the how the financial resources can be with the due financial share can be given to the states. And after that, and whenever there is a tussle between the center and the state, then the state does not have much say over the center-state relation, because the enormous power centered at the union government is that anyway, the union government, even Ambedkar also professed that strong center, we should have a strong center. So it should not be like a weak state. But the centers are, when the center becomes more important, because of the strong states, the center becomes so stronger, we should understand. So the state autonomy does not or should not be taken as a secession or like a kind of separatism, something like that. But the past narratives have changed right now, but now no one is taking that narrative into serious account. But in that case, how financial allocations or financial resources, devolving financial resources to the states, that becomes an issue. Even the BJP states have problems and the Congress ruling states have double problems. But when it comes to the regional parties ruling states like Andhra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, so these states, but as our Muralidhar said that Congress, the Andhra is now in a safer zone. A safe zone, but Tamil Nadu has been in the past 5 years, it has been struggling with the center to get the funds allocated, and it has knocked the doors of the Supreme Court to get its due funds. But it became actually these issues became very political, even at the grassroots level also. And for example, the disaster relief, when the Tenkasi and the Tirunelveli district struck with the cyclone Mischun. Cyclone actually carries, there's a kind of devastation. So the state demanded more than 35,000 crores, but nothing has been given. Around 700 crores was given. So the kind of devastation, the disaster made it, but the kind of compensation given was a tip of the iceberg. And how the state finance getting affected because just because the central denial to the financial resources, the state cannot keep its fingers crossed. At the same time, it has to push forward the development activities also. In that case, the financial problems becomes the core part of the issues of center-state relations and withholding grants. For example, the Samagraha Shiksha scheme, where 4,000 crores has been kept pending for the Tamil Nadu. Because of that, and that's a major financial resource which is supposed to come from the center. Because of that, there are a lot many issues cropped up, and so the state immediately jump into the conclusion that it has to pay from the pocket of the state exchequer. So how, because of this center-state relations, how development activity is getting stalled, and even it becomes an issue in the economic and education sector. Because of the Samagraha Shiksha scheme, they could not provide salary for a month for the school teachers. That happened, but they overcome the crisis with the help of some other financial resources. And it has been a bone of contention for the center, the state, and that if the center does not implement the new education policy, so the center will not be able to devolve the funds for the state. So when this kind of political statement came from the ministers, so that sparked a lot about the center-state relation and how the regional parties are crushed to the core and making constraint over the financial resources. And but there is a political challenge takes place that how the DMK managed to overcome the crisis. And there is also other criticism that the DMK government is moving away from the central ambit, that it is going towards attracting FDI. And FDI, through this FDI, they're like now they are overburdening the exchequer and getting a lot of loans from the international funding agencies, so that the individual per capita debt is increasing day by day. There is a kind of criticism that even the opposition parties like BJP and ADMK now taking it as a campaign material. So, and the last one is the governor's appointment in Tamil Nadu, the recent past. He made a lot of headlines in the newspapers that how governor can play the role of stumbling block between the executive orders and the legislatures. So the governor office has become important position or important role, that how governors are appointed just to ease the administrative bottlenecks between the center and the state. He is the representative of the center staying in the state. But how in the recent past, from 2022 onwards till last week and before, how the then governor R.N. Ravi have been playing with the state, and even the opening ceremony of the session, even he did not read the whole document of the ruling government, and he did not want to spell out the names of Periyar, Anna, Kamarajar, Ambedkar, Kalaignar. So this is becoming a serious issue, when actually politically it's very crucial also to think about that. The constitutionality, how the basic constitutionality of center-state relations have been like it's getting deeply and critical, and at the same time it's eroding the values of the constitution and the political mandate of the people and the legislatures and all. And more, one important thing is that the NEET, it was the first issue which the DMK took it as a issue of social justice. So when the center introduced the NEET exam for the medical admission, so that has become an important issue in Tamil Nadu, where many students who had to repeat their NEET entrance examinations, and many of them could not clear, and even though they had a very high percentage of marks in the +2 exams. So, and students have died in the past, and the center stood very firm that it will not revoke the policy anyway for a particular state. And there is a problem also that except Tamil Nadu, there is no other state claiming that or like demanding to revoke the NEET. So at least Kerala had a little bit, it gave its ear for that. But the Andhra, Karnataka and the other opposition ruling states in India, they have not even opened their mouth, but it is up to them. There is a kind of democratic understanding that it should not be like one particular regional party demands something or opposes something. It is not necessarily for all the parties to oppose the same. But anyway, they have their own policy and politics within the state limitations. The regional interest is becoming a serious issue, but how the regional interest and the national politics. So the center state issue and the fiscal federalism is has become a piston. Has become a piston to move the engine. But the thing is that the piston is still on its own place, but the engines are moving on the other hand. The state is dragging one part and the center is dragging on the other part. But the seriousness of politics is very important. And at the same time, M.K. Stalin, the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, has followed his father's step. Karunanidhi was the first person who appointed a committee to look after the center-state relations and the powers of the center and the state, and where the center and state can come together and where they can get departed. So in that case, after the Satanathan and Sakaria Commission to look into the center-state relation, he has now appointed IAS officer Ashok Vardhan Sethi and 2 or 3 more experts part of the committee, and they have handed over the report recently with the Chief Minister. And before I think it was expected to place the report on the table of the floor, I think in this last session, but I think they have not done it. And if that report would have been tabled in the floor, in the assembly, I think there might be a lot of other aspects to be discussed. So there may be some other aspects, then new powers or new ways to find the solution for the center-state problem might have been discussed. I think apart from that,
if we can conclude in 2 minutes, sir.
And the language issue has been a serious issue for Tamil Nadu. So whenever there is a strong center, we have to recall Professor Rajni Kothari, the one-party rule. Whenever the one-party rule rules for the country, and it has also its advantages and disadvantages also. But for the second or third time in the past 75 years of the independence, the Tamil Nadu is facing the, I think, 3.0, language issue 3.0 during Nehru period and Mrs. Gandhi. And now the serious issue is like Sanskritization of the official offices of central government. Recently, the Trichy railway junction, actually the divisional railway manager office has been put it in the Sanskrit. So within the state, the Hindi is being placed in the first place, and the English second, and the Tamil has been pushed to the third place. So this has really racked up the issue that, and now they have withdrawn the decision to put the Hindi or Sanskrit words in the central government. So the past is now recurring. The past issues are re-emerging or resurfacing in Tamil Nadu. So in the future, how after 2026 election, how the center-state election relations will go towards a solution or towards a kind of keeping up the same pace and the questioning the authorities of the central powers. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Ramajam.
Yes.
We have no more speakers.
Okay, sir.
We have no more speakers. So what you can do now is you can open the session for question answer. If there are any question, any intervention from the participant, they can ask question to the speaker. Now it is open for discussion, question answer session.
Dear participants, if you have any question, any query, you may ask. You can unmute your mic and you can ask.
I think, sir, from the yesterday they were all involved in the discussion, and and it is a large session, so they are feeling tired. So okay.
All the
If anyone has any questions or queries, then they can raise. Let's give some time.
Yes, but all the three speakers presented on the topic which I find very fascinating, interesting. For further discussion, they have raised many issues, very vital issues. And this session, I think, was dominated by the center-state relation, federalism. So, and the idea of this webinar on a region, there are many regions in the country, south, north, east, west. So this webinar is exclusively on South India. That is a regional perspective. How people in South India they think of the center or others. That kind of things actually emerge strongly in the presentation. One contentious topic so far as South India is concerned is federalism, center-state relations. So I'm very familiar about this contentious area, center-state relation or Indian federalism, and very rightly our first speakers actually drew attention to the fact that when there is strong center, it undermines federalism. When there is strong center, it undermines federalism. So this is one of a very truly observed, truly true observation on the part of the speaker. Whenever there is a strong center, whether it was during the time of Indira Gandhi or whether it is the time of Narendra Modi, so strong center has always undermined federalism. Otherwise also, federalism has tendency of centralizing things. So when there is a party with absolute majority, that strong center become very, very prominent. Okay. So that poses a threat to federalism or center-state relation. So in the last 10 years or so, this area has become very contentious. No, it has become a debate or a topic of discourse. This the federalism. My observation is that South is not for social democracy. South is for redistributive measures. It is not for egalitarian values. So welfareism is one of the key indicators of South India. Redistributive measures, welfareism, they are very key. They are they are working very well. They are very successful in South India. Okay, and that is one of the key point of mobilization of people for the election. Okay, so the issue of allocation of resources, state are not getting adequate fund from the center. So why this is the case? Why center is so much restricting or curtailing the financial due share uh, meant for state like Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and so on. This is something to do with, I think, redistributive measures, because government at the center is very much influenced by uh, austerity measures. You know, so they think that South Indian states are spending more on welfare. They are spending more as a part of redistributive measures. So, from the financial point of view, I think that is not prudent. This is my observation. This is one. This might be one, consideration on the part of the center. Okay. So, if center provides money to the state government, then the state government will use that money for the welfare purpose, and welfare spending money for the welfare purpose also equally mobilize the people for a party in power. So I think they want to break that kind of cycle. They want that money given by the center should not be spent for welfare measures. And the same party in North India, in northern state, they are also resorting to welfareism. BJP BJP government in North Indian state also resorting to welfareism. They also spend huge amount on welfare measures, or some people may call it freebie or something like that. But they want to curtail the same thing in the southern state. So this is one angle, according to me, why the tussle between center and state comes into full play in the matter of allocation of resources. There are various reasons why the financial allocation of contention between southern state. Not only southern state, this is the case with many other states also. West Bengal also having the similar problem. West Bengal is not adequate financial allocation. So this is a phenomena everywhere, and there is a political reason behind this kind of attitude or approach adopted by the center in Delhi. So this was my some preliminary observation about the session. Very well presented paper. Three of the speakers they presented their paper and touched upon very crucial, relevant area. So it gone very well. And this is from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.